Hi everyone, great to have you with me again. And here we are just 2 weeks from the big day. Christmas is coming very, very fast. And what a year we've had leading up to it. Most of us have encountered a degree of stress in our lives throughout this last year. COVID has certainly given us great challenges. Now, stress in our lives a little can actually be quite good. But if you find that you are stressed constantly, as many of us have been, because it has been such an unsettling period of time, you may find that that's reflected in your digestive system. Your tummy will tell you how things are. Has it been that you have been perhaps suffering from indigestion or heartburn or maybe bloating, acid reflux? Any of those things often are related to stress. We then throw into that same mix very rich food that we get around Christmas and flowing alcohol, Prosecco, gin and tonics, wine, spirits of any sort, whatever it is that your tipple is. This can lead to even more problems. So perhaps it's worth looking at how we can make things a little bit easier for us from that point of view. The golden rule of good digestion is slow down. If you really rush at a meal and eat it too fast, what tends to happen is you will overeat and you will suffer from indigestion. So you've increased the amount of calories that you've had, then you're unhappy because you put on weight and you've got indigestion to boot. Not good. Always sit down if you're going to have something to eat. If you can, sit at a table. That's by far the best. It keeps your body in the right position. You're not all scrunched up in a chair, perhaps with a tray. Try and sit at a table. So sit down to eat your meal. Have small mouthfuls. And with each of those mouthfuls, chew very carefully. Don't try to swallow food before you've chewed it. By chewing, we're preparing it for the digestive juices to work on that. If we swallow it very, very quickly, what happens is our poor stomachs are then forced to do extra work to break down food that should have been partly broken down before it actually gets into our stomachs. Drink water. We need to have plenty of water to allow the system to work efficiently. So if you can have water before your meal, maybe during, and certainly after your meal, try and have regular water throughout the day. To avoid indigestion and heartburn, we need to look at generally smaller portions, eating too much and too rich a selection of food, things like high-fat foods, and that unfortunately is what we get at this time of year, can put a strain on the whole thing. So smaller portions, and if you can, maybe simpler, cleaner food. I'm not saying that you have to have that every meal, but a lovely simple meal, fish and veg, that sort of thing is very, very good. Try to have your meals regularly. Don't fall into the trap of missing meals and then you make up for it the next time. Missing meals again can add to digestive problems. If you can have less on your plate. We could go for smaller plates. I know at Christmas that perhaps isn't going to be the case, but does it have to be that you have something of everything? And do you have to go back for seconds? So look at that. If you can, avoid eating all the little things that sit around at Christmas, things like the mince pies and the chocolates, the sweets, the dates, all those things in lovely dishes that sit around and tempt us. They're generally extra calories to those we would need. They tend to be very rich. We'll probably still eat our meal anyway. So if you can, make sure that you've got perhaps some fruits sitting out, even prepared fruits, a lovely colourful dish of fruit set out when you're perhaps waiting for the meal. The meal's perhaps a couple of hours away and you want something to keep you going. Don't fall into the trap of just having vol au vents and pastries and things like that. So some fruits sitting out will be wonderful, and make sure that with your meals you do have plenty of veg and, as I mentioned before, plenty of water. Alcohol can cause extra digestive problems. So if you can alternate your alcoholic drinks with water, then you're going to be far, far better. Exercise is good for us overall. We know that. And exercise not only can help with our digestive process, but it can also help to de-stress. So if you want to lessen stress, get that walk in, go out and have a good time. Whatever you do, don't lie down straight after a meal. It might be tempting after you've had a particularly big and rich meal, something that we're probably not used to having. You might be tempted to say, oh, that's me. I'm just going to go and collapse on the sofa. I'm going to lie and have a nap for 40 minutes. Not good. We're in completely the wrong position for our digestive system to work. So if you can, keep upright. This is perhaps where you could get, when I say a walk, I'm not talking about power walking. Just a wee stroll round the block or even round the garden or whatever will really help. And when you come in, sit for a while. Do not go to lie down straight away. The other meals over Christmas, try and keep them, as I said, as light, as clean as possible. Go for basic ingredients, cooked very little, with very little added to them. Keep it all very, very simple. Remember that over Christmas, we are all tempted to have a lot of extra foods that we really don't need. We may want them, but afterwards you often will regret it. So it's not that we're necessarily eating the wrong things, it's the excesses can cause the problem. So a little of what you fancy does you good, but don't have too much of it. Take care, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye for now.